Welcome. I'm Kevin Hauber. I've been practicing yoga for over 20 years, and I share my practice, which is primarily a restorative practice, now taking that online. So thank you for joining me and us virtually. We're going to go through a practice with a number of different elements that you can choose from. If you have props available to you, it'd be helpful to have props like a tennis ball, a block, a bolster, all things that can be helpful to you. You can practice in a number of different positions. If you need to adjust, please feel free to take anything that we're doing and adjust it to what you need. So let's get started. We're going to start with a little bit of point release work. So take a tennis ball and come laying down. You can leave the knees bent if that's a little more comfortable for your low back. Start in the right shoulder, right at the base of the neck where it fans out into the shoulder in that trapezius area. And then come on to the ball. You can stay on one spot or move around, open into the shoulder. Arms can be crossed at the chest or open to the sides, whatever feels best for your shoulders. And so breathe around the ball and let it start to create some space in that right shoulder. And breathe. And let's go ahead and release that spot. Come down a couple inches between the shoulder blade and the spine on the right into the rhomboid area. And again, you can stay on one spot if that's a good one, or move around on the ball. Inner shoulder blade wrapping around the ball. Arms can be open to the side again or crossed at the chest, hanging out on one spot or moving around. Breathe behind the shoulder blade. And let's go ahead and release that spot. Come on down to the bottom rib on the right side. And you can work along that bottom rib, along the back of the diaphragm, breathing into it. A lot of times you can feel things radiating down into the low back from here, maybe even up into the rib cage. Work along that bottom rib, back of the third chakra. And keep breathing. And then go ahead and release there. Come on down to the base of the low back, the lumbosacral area, just right of center, where the lumbar spine meets the sacrum. Again, find a good spot or an area to move around on or hang out on. Lots of stuff gets stored down here in the low back, so breathe into it and see if you can create some space and some movement. And go ahead and release. Come on out just a bit into the sacroiliac joint area on the right. The SI is where the top corner of the sacrum meets the crest of the hip. This is like the keystone of the spine. And typically right above or below that SI joint, There's lots of good stuff to work with, maybe even along the right edge of the sacrum. Sacrum is that upside down triangle resting in the hips. Breathe into that. Back of the second chakra. Making some space, creating some opening. And then releasing there, come on out to the outer hip on the right. And find a good spot or a good area to work with in the outer hip. Breathe. And let's go ahead and release on the outer hip on the right. Bring the ball over into the left shoulder now, into that trapezius area at the base of the neck where it starts to fan out into the shoulder. And again, finding a spot or an area to work with. Arms can be open to the side, arms can be crossed at the chest. Breathing around the ball.